Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Diamond Chat, brought to you by Dr. Karen Kramer, your hometown dentist in Grafton and Elyria, and also presented by First Federal Savings of Lorraine. Tim Alcorn with AM 930 WEOL, and of course, each and every week, joined by Shaun Bennett from the Chronicle Telegram. We've been out covering a lot of softball and baseball, and the good news is teams still alive on the tournament trail, softball-wise. Two teams in the Final Four in the state of Ohio, a familiar duo that will go to Akron in Elyria and Keystone. And as Shaun and I tape this, three teams still alive on that baseball tournament trail, Elyria Catholic and Vermillion in Division II. They'll play each other in a regional semifinal, and the Amherst Comets in Division I as they have advanced to the regional. So good news out on the diamond, Shaun.
And I was worried because when you laid out the season for Diamond Chat, this is the penultimate episode. Our season finale is next weekend. And I'm thinking, wow, the season finale falls after the softball season ends and right before the baseball state championship. What if all our teams flame out in the district tournament? What are we going to talk about the last couple weeks? So the fact that we still have 5 teams going is awesome. And it's great to kind of have some, things to talk about great this week. And we're going to have some great things to talk about next week as well.
Well, one of the things that we like to talk about is the top performers. And obviously, with these teams advancing in tournament play, both softball and baseball-wise, boy, it took some great performances. So, Shaun, you want to start on the softball side?
Absolutely, and obviously, like I said, we have 2 softball teams that we're playing this weekend. They both had fantastic regional tournaments, won regional championships. We'll be down at Firestone Stadium this weekend. So out of those 2 teams, we'll start with Keystone. Autumn Accord, no stranger to the top performance list. One of the top players in the county. Her solo home run in the first, and then an RBI double in the third provided all the runs the Wildcats would need to advance to their 5th straight Division II state tournament appearance. 5 straight.
Wow.
So that means her and her fellow seniors have been to the state tournament all 4 years. It's rare. It's something that you just don't see happen very often, and it's kind of cool. And then obviously Elyria, you were there with Mr. Joe Tate.
Yeah, that was fun.
So we had our last 2 top performances were there. Izzy St. Peter pitched a 4-hit shutout in the Division I regional championship game against Perrysburg. Also went 1 for 2 and drove in one of the Pioneers' 3 runs in the game. So she's just stepped it up at that level, pretty much every level. But she's been amazing in the postseason during those 3 years as a freshman. Obviously, pitched the Pioneers to a state championship and is hoping to make it 2 and 3 years this year with just another great in the circle performance. And then Kerrigan Williams, 1 for 3 with a run scored and a stolen base, and an Elyria's regional championship win, and then played shutdown defense at third base, helping keep Perrysburg off the scoreboard. That was a shutout win. So Kerrigan Williams, I wasn't there, you were there. Sounds like the plays were phenomenal. Like she had just one of the best defensive games in a long time.
She played a great defensive third base for Elyria High, and you mentioned Izzy. The 2 runs that she gave up in the regional semi were unearned runs. She should have been out of the inning. So basically, she didn't give up any earned runs in the 2 regional games. Right. She's peaking at the right time.
Right, absolutely. So again, my top 3 performances on the softball side: Autumn Accord of Keystone, Izzy St. Peter of Elyria, Kerrigan Williams of Elyria.
Congratulations. All right, let's talk about top 3 performers on the baseball side. And I'm going to go with 1 from each of the 3 teams still alive as we tape this on the baseball tournament trail. So we're going to start off with an Amherst Comet center fielder, junior Jason Moniz. Now, last week during Diamond Chat, I talked about the unbelievable pitching performance of Dylan Eaton in their district semifinal win over Olmsted Falls, 1-0. Well, a huge play in that 1-0 win over the Bulldogs in the district semi was Jason Moniz out in center field, throwing out what could have been the game-tying run at third base after Jason caught a fly ball. Runner tagged up from second, and Moniz threw him out by a mile. Now we go to the district championship game against St. Ed's, and Amherst clinging to a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. St. Ed's has a runner at second base with nobody out. Fly ball to center field. What does Moniz do? He literally replicates what he did in the district semi. He threw out the runner by a mile at third base, what would have been the potential tying run for St. Ed. So instead of a runner at third and less than 2 outs, 2 down, nobody on. So 2 incredible plays out in center field from Comet center fielder Jason Moniz. And by the way, in that district championship ball game, not only did he replicate the feat of gunning down a runner at third with a long throw from center, in the district final, Moniz was also 3 for 3. He had a run scored and an RBI, and that's batting in the 7-hole for the Amherst Comets. So a great district tournament for Jason Moniz. Now we're going to transition over to Vermillion. Their first regional appearance since 1991. Congratulations, Jeff Keck and the Vermillion Sailors. And boy, they had to battle out in Sandusky to win their district. Of course, they had the great come-from-behind win in their district semifinal. But in that come-from-behind extra inning win, Coach Keck had to burn through his best two pitchers. Of course, Ridge Clark, who he had on during Get a Grip, and Mason Montgomery. So he goes to his number 3 guy in the pitching staff, Jacob Krauser. And all Krauser does in the district championship game is pitch a complete game victory for Vermillion. He gives up 5 hits, 3 runs, and he strikes out 8 in their 7-3 win over Shelby. So again, Jacob Krauser really stepped up for Vermillion when they needed a big performance on the hill. Clark and Montgomery weren't available. Krauser comes in, does the job, and pitches Vermillion to the regional semifinal against Elyria Catholic. And then speaking of Elyria Catholic, my third top performer really didn't do anything on the field this week because EC had already clinched their spot in the Sweet 16. But boy, I want to tip my cap to Leighton Banjoff. What a week he had just as far as awards are concerned at Elyria Catholic and on the county-wide basis. First of all, county-wide, Leighton Banjoff was named the 2019 Lorain County Mr. Baseball Award. Such a prestigious award and such a career and a season that Leighton Banjoff has had over at Elyria Catholic. Well deserving, and he represents the school so very, very well. And that is shown by the fact that he won another huge award this week. This one given out by Elyria Catholic. It's such a tradition. The Lew Rotonda Award, and of course Lew Rotonda, a longtime employee of the Chronicle Telegram, but represented Elyria Catholic and Elyria Catholic athletics for decades. So Leighton Banjoff, the proud recipient of the Lew Rotonda Award. So you all know about his on-the-field accolades. He's just a phenomenal baseball player, heading to the University of Nebraska on a full ride to play baseball, an incredible football player as well. But to Leighton Banjoff to be the Mr. Baseball Award winner and the Lew Rotonda Award winner, I got to throw him in there as one of the top 3 performers. So congratulations to Leighton Banjoff, Jacob Krauser of Vermillion, Jason Moniz of Amherst. Those are my top 3 performers.
It's nice to know that we're going to have at least one team having a shot at that state tournament because obviously Vermillion, it's almost bittersweet though. You'd almost like to see all 3 of them have good shots at getting in, but at least we know that one Lorain County team is definitely going to have one win away from the state tournament, and hopefully whoever wins that game and Amherst will be able to get through, and we'll have 2 softball, 2 baseball. We said that hopefully about right like a couple weeks ago before the regionals and everything worked out, so let's have it work out again.
Well, there's teams still alive on the tournament trail, so let's talk about our first Federal Savings of Lorain Teams of the Week. Sean,
all right.
Down to 2.
Yes, all right, yeah, I know. So my first Federal Savings of Lorain softball team of the week is going to be Elyria. Elyria, not even the top seed in their own district. They go on and now are 2 wins away from winning their second Division I state championship in 3 years. Obviously win a district title. They go through, knock off a couple tough teams in the regional. They bounce back from Airfield Regional semifinal for a defensive-led victory over Perrysburg in the final, avenging that 1-0 loss in 10 innings to the Yellow Jackets that ended on a walk-off error during the 2018 regional semifinal. So they showed a lot of, just grit in bouncing back and in what could have been a situation that the girls are like, oh no, what's happening again, this and that, and they were able to get power through, and now they're up against a team that in Louisville who has never been to. They just won their first district championship in program history. So Elyria's there. They've got experience on their side. Winning that state semifinal. You never know what could happen. And just like in 2017, they pulled out a couple big wins down at Akron Firestone Stadium, so that's what the girls are looking to do again.
It was interesting to read Ken Fennick's comments in the paper on Sunday when he told Tim Gebhardt, who was covering the game, that he told the girls, I was relaxed as any regional final I've ever been. Sometimes teams will reflect the personality of their coach. You know that. And you could see that the girls were relaxed out there. They played free and easy. They played an incredible defensive game. And I think they were relaxed going into the state Final Four going, hey, maybe we weren't supposed to be here.
Well, there's no pressure on them. I mean,
right.
It's kind of nice. Those girls were set up perfectly. They went in as freshmen. No pressure on them then. They're like, oh, we're freshmen. We got 3 years to go. And they play lights out and they win a state title. Now they're in, and most of them are juniors. Demaya Parks is a senior, won a state title as a sophomore. Again, though, they've already got a state title under their belt. Again, no pressure. The pressure's on those other teams to beat Elyria, which has been the juggernaut down there, for years past. So they should be able to play loose. They should be able to play well. Yet I can tell they're still hungry and they want to win that second title in 3 years.
Absolutely. All right, let's turn to the baseball side with 3 teams still on the trail. Although I mentioned when we taped this last week, EC had already gotten in and they were my team of the week. So I was really torn between Vermillion and Amherst, 2 teams that obviously are deserving. Amherst with the big upset over St. Ed's to go to the regional, but they were there last year. So I'm going to go with Vermillion, because when you clinch your Sweet 16 spot for the first time since 1991 and you rally in both of your district tournament games to go to the Sweet 16, I'm going to give the slight edge to Vermillion. So my first Federal Savings of Lorain team of the week, the Vermillion Sailors. Congratulations, going back to a Sweet 16 for the first time since the early 90s, 91 to be exact. They've had a tremendous year. I know we've talked about them quite a bit during Diamond Chat. They've got a great 1-2 pitching punch, I guess you could call it, with Ridge Clark and with Mason Montgomery, although I mentioned earlier about Krauser and his performance. EC and Vermillion, that should be a great regional semi. It's one of those things, Sean, as you said, you're going to be so elated for whoever wins because they'll play for a chance for the Final Four, and yet you'll be disappointed for whoever comes up on the short end. But great job, Lorain County. 2 D2 teams in the regional, one of those being Vermillion. They're my first Federal Savings of Lorain team of the week. 2 thrilling wins in the district over at Sandusky.
But you're going to give Amherst an honorable mention.
Absolutely. Yes, the honorable mention goes to the Comets. I mean, a 1-0 win over Old Falls, and then that thrilling 4-3 win over St. Ed. So, absolutely. Amherst, yeah, you're right there.
Well, then I'm going to give Keystone an honorable mention, too. I mean, 5 straight regional championships is deserving. You are the honorable mention king, though, so.
Okay. Yeah, each gets an honorable mention.
The first Federal Savings of Lorain we're going to give everybody, just everybody gets this, No, it's great. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. All right, well, a girl that's been fantastic in the circle for the Firelands Lady Falcons, or was, throughout the 2019 campaign, is Ashley Straus. I know you got together with Ashley for Get a Grip.
Yeah, she did our Get a Grip segment, the last, Get a Grip segment, and it was kind of, I really appreciate her doing it because she did it right after the district championship game against Keystone, which Firelands lost, but she stuck around, helped us out, showed us her screwball, which is kind of funny because we started the very first segment was a screwball from Madison Oberg from Amherst, and Ashley's going to show her screwball on this version as well. So yes, fantastic pitcher, fantastic person, Ashley Straus.
With the screwball on Get a Grip.
It's Ashley Straus. I'm a junior at Firelands High School, and I'm going to show you how to do a screwball. The way I grip it is a backwards C, and the way I pitch it, you just kind of go through, you step to the left, and you come through and fall to the side.
Okay.
So, describe how you felt behind the plate.
Yeah, I mean the ball's moving around, but she's got great control, and it's these girls they're around the plate all the time. You don't feel it for your life too much. It's pretty good. So I did, it's good.
I've loved Get a Grip all year. We've had a lot of fun with it.
Yes, it's been a great segment.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of greatness. The all-county teams were announced this week, and obviously, there's been some great performances and some great players this season, so we thought we'd spend a moment or two and just kind of go through the baseball all-county. You're going to see this young man in just a minute coming up on our In the Dugout segment, the Division I Coach of the Year, Matt Ponting at North Ridgeville. I'll tell you what, they played great baseball down the stretch. They were getting hot. So we'll hear from Matt Ponting during our In the Dugout segment, but he was named the Coach of the Year in Division I, Player of the Year in Division I, and I think he was one of our top performers as the year went along. Noah France over at Elyria. Well, he put together some big numbers for the Pioneers this year.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I don't get a lot of baseball watching, but yeah, they definitely had a great season, great program.
Division II, as far as Player of the Year, Mason Montgomery of Vermillion, and Leighton Banjoff of Elyria Catholic, and Alex Brill of Firelands. 3 dynamic players that all had great seasons.
Yeah, they couldn't figure it out. It was like, well, yeah, it's tough. Those are 3 great players, and it's nice. I think the lead on the story that was written about him was Division II is filled with talent so much that they had 3 Players of the Year. So.
Well, and obviously 2 of those 3 teams are in the Sweet 16.
Absolutely.
So, and congratulations to Coach of the Year, Jeff Keck. I know we did it in the dugout segment with Jeff, his marvelous career, and boy, it's good to be back in the regional if you're the head coach of the Sailors. First time since '91. And in Division 3/4, the Coach of the Year, Dan Durante of Columbia. He's a terrific guy. He really is. Got to know him a little bit in his first year as the head coach of the Columbia Raiders. And the Player of the Year, Ben Bliss over at Wellington High School. So terrific talent and terrific jobs by a lot of players and coaches this year.
Yeah. On the softball side, it was no huge surprises for me. Everybody that they got listed in the first teams on the softball side, great players. I'll also stick with kind of the specialty awards. Coach of the Year in Division I, Ken Matusek of Avon. Avon went in there and just surprised a lot of teams. I kind of picked them to be one of my top teams in the season preview because they finished, I think, 3rd behind Midview and Amherst last year, and they went in and beat Midview a couple times, knocked off some teams that a lot of people maybe thought was a surprise, and they did it with a young team, so they got a lot of girls coming back, so he did a great job over there. Player of the Year was Macy Godbold of Elyria, no surprise. She's 1 home run away from tying the season record for Lorain County. Pitcher of the Year, again, no surprise, Madison Oberg of Amherst, going to play Division I college next year at University of Maryland, Baltimore County. In Division II, Coach of the Year, Bill Matthews of Vermillion, Hall of Famer.
Right.
All those years at Amherst, he'd done some great things. The Vermillion program did very well in a very tough Sandusky Bay Conference. Had a nice long postseason run, so great job by him out there. Player of the Year and Pitcher of the Year, both from Keystone. Surprisingly, Autumn McCord and Sydney Campbell were the Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Battery at Keystone. Both senior leaders. No surprise there. They're 2 of the best players in the county and the division, so well deserved there. And then Division 3/4, the Coach of the Year, Dwayne Sunigal, obviously ended a 10-year skid with their first district championship since 2009. Made it into the regionals. Player of the Year, also from Wellington, Teddy Hardoby, freshman catcher. So that's nice to see a freshman coming in and playing at the highest level. And Pitcher of the Year, Brianna Rivas from Oberlin. Another just fantastic pitcher. Yeah, another Get a Grip segment. Just a fantastic pitcher. She's been lights out, big strikeout totals and stuff like that every year. So just great job over around on all those girls.
And again, we congratulate all the players that we didn't mention who were named first team and second team, and obviously just some of the recognition that they received as well. We got 1 more to go. We got 1 more, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun next week.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have some fun this week as well with the games.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable games this week. So we've got 1 more segment to bring you. That'll be a video segment in the dugout. I mentioned that Matt Ponting from North Ridgeville, who really had the Rangers playing well down the stretch, is going to join us. You're going to kind of get a glimpse of the brand new baseball facility that they'll play at next year at North Ridgeville. That's where Matt and I had the conversation. So that's coming up next. Sean, thanks to you. Kristen Bauer behind the camera, thanks to you. Biggest thanks goes to you, the viewers. And next week, our final edition of Diamond Chat. So we'll talk to you then. Here comes Matt Ponting, and so long, everybody. Well, this segment is called In the Dugout. Now, there's no dugout at the brand new North Ridgeville baseball facility, but Matt Ponting, the head coach of the Rangers, joins us. And Matt, before we talk about you and your background, boy, tell us about this unbelievable facility that's under construction here at North Ridgeville.
Yeah, as you can see, we're going to have a great facility here. We are halfway done with our new varsity field. It's going to be a turf infield, grass outfield facility. We're just waiting kind of to get the grass seeded and the dugouts in. but it should be good to go spring 2020.
Boy, it looks beautiful. All right, so how many years have you been the head coach at North Ridgeville?
Well, this year I'm finishing up season number 8.
And did you always know you wanted to be a head coach?
Oh yeah, I mean, just from when I played as a kid, my dad coached me growing up, and just being around baseball my whole life, going to college, I just knew I always wanted to come back. And I actually started my first freshman team was back at Elyria when I was still in college, so that was a cool experience.
So tell us about your high school and your college days.
I graduated Elyria High 2001, and I played 3 years at Baldwin Wallace, and then I started coaching that last year.
And did those coaches at Elyria and BW have influence on you, and who were they?
Yes, so I played under Kurt Karpinski, and then I also coached with Steve Sunigal up at Elyria, and then Coach Fisher at Baldwin Wallace, which the field out there is redone with turf. It's named after him. So I just always take things, you remember almost everything you get when you're getting that good coaching experience.
Matt, from your perspective as a head coach, what's your best memory? What really stands out?
Oh, yesterday's game was pretty cool. We had a good win in the sectional versus Avon Lake. We also had a good win a couple years back against North Olmsted, where we got out of a huge bases loaded jam with no outs to beat North Olmsted in the tournament. So tournament victories are always sweet.
All right, one final question for you. What's one thing that your players don't know about you or North Ridgeville fans don't know about you? What can you tell us that we don't know already?
I'm not really that interesting of a person. I'm trying to think of something.
Well, what's a unique fact about you then? What's a fun fact?
You're stumping me right here. Should have gave me a little heads up.
Any hobbies? Any? What's your favorite sport aside from baseball?
Golf. I mean, as soon as baseball season's over, I'm on the golf course for the whole summer, working, playing. That's honestly, golfing was my main sport. I just ended up playing baseball because I liked being around the guys.